A company becoming synonymous with disaster. Boeing's flagship jet is facing another bout of doubts.
Seattle, Alaska, 1282, we just depressurized, we're declaring emergency, we need to descend down to 10,000, and we need to return back to Portland.
All 737 MAX 9s in the US were grounded after a section of fuselage fell from an Alaska Airlines flight on Friday, leaving a gaping hole in the aircraft and forcing it to make an emergency landing. Now both US airlines that fly the model have found loose hardware in their inspections.
We cannot tell you at this time how or why. We do not have that information. We will have that information. It's going to take time, and we're going to have to analyze the components and the door plug in our lab to be able to figure out how this happened.
Investigators are trying to determine if the panel that blew out on Flight 1282 was properly secured. Bolts that should have been in place are missing, but the panel itself has been recovered from the backyard of a Portland science teacher.
I could see that there was something gleaming white underneath the trees in the back that isn't normally there. I thought, oh my goodness, people have been looking for this all weekend, and it looks like it's in my backyard.
Boeing's 737 MAX has been labelled the most scrutinised aircraft in history after a string of safety disasters. One crashed off the coast of Indonesia in 2018, killing everyone on board. Months later, another flight in Ethiopia suffered the same fate, both due to flawed Boeing flight software. Subsequent investigations then concluded the company had knowingly concealed flaws in the system.
We need to first and foremost figure out what happened here on this aircraft. If we have a bigger system-wide or fleet issue, we will issue an urgent safety recommendation.
Other operators with the 737 MAX in their fleet, including Turkish Airlines, have also grounded the jets for inspections. How much the latest blow to the brand will cost Boeing is still up in the air. Isabella Bull, TRT World.
Let's get more on this now from Fabrizio Poli. He's an aviation advisor and author of The Quantum Economy, and he joins us now from Manchester, UK. Thank you for being with us. So Boeing is tied to a string of disasters, really, in the past. And once again, several airlines have grounded the fleet. What will the impact be for the company?
Well, it's not good. It's not good because, Boeing have always been ahead of Airbus with orders. But last year we saw Boeing receive 1,000 orders and Airbus receive 1,400 orders for aircraft. So Airbus are already ahead of Boeing. And I think a lot of airlines now are looking at this. And not only airlines, it's the passengers. It's the people that buy the tickets. People this time of the year are looking to book their holiday. And they're looking to go on, fly somewhere on an airline, and they'll be asking the question, what airplane is going to be flying me on my holiday? And if it's a 737 MAX, I think a lot of people are going to decide to, go elsewhere.
Do you think there will be spillover effects too for the rest of the aviation industry and some airlines in particular after all that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, any airline that's operating this airplane, if they have to ground the airplane, it's a lot of money that they're not making every day. Just to give you an idea, it costs about $360,000 a month to lease a Boeing 737. That's about $12,000 a day. That's money that's not coming in. And then, you calculate all the rest. Every time an airline have an extra airplane come in, they have to hire so many people to make that airplane fly. And so if the airplane's on the ground, these people still have to be paid. So you've got these fixed costs, whether the plane flies or not, as they always say in the airline industry, when the plane's in the air, it's making me money. When it's on the ground, it's costing me money.
Right. And airlines have also warned of falling profits and rising fares if manufacturers don't improve quality control. Can the aviation sector take another hit? Because we were seeing very high prices post-pandemic when it comes to the industry and the sector. But can the sector take another hit?
It's not good. It's not good because during COVID, everyone took a hit. Now, after COVID, what's happened? The prices of fuel have gone up. Pilots want more money. So salaries of pilots have to increase. So the baseline costs for an airline have gone up. And so obviously what they're doing is they're increasing prices in the tickets. But, if something like this has just happened and they have to ground a lot of their airplanes, it's just going to increase the costs even more. And it's going to be very, very difficult for airlines to survive. So if I was an airline executive and I needed to choose what airplane to buy, I'd think twice before choosing a Boeing. And I'm a Boeing pilot. I mean, I've flown thousands of hours on the Boeing 737. But these newer types, I think, they've stretched the airplane. They've put these bigger engines on it. While what they should have done is they should have scrapped the whole 737 thing and gone and done a complete new design. And there's talks about these screws weren't in place or they were a bit loose, and that shows you there's a problem there of quality control with Boeing. And a lot of people are saying, well, maybe it's the leadership that needs to change, and then the leadership will change the system underneath. But I think what Boeing really need to do is they need to come up with a brand new airplane from scratch. Something that looks different, maybe goes a lot faster. Everybody's crying out for supersonic and hypersonic aircraft. That's the kind of thing we really need. But, it needs to be built safely because we can't have another accident or incident like this again.
Exactly. And after the disaster, I wonder, you're a pilot, but what's the potential psychological impact on the people wanting and needing to fly? Will there be a psychological effect now on people, and will this have any financial impact in turn on the company, on the prices of the tickets and the supply and demand there?
Well, let's give you a classical example. In the UK, we've got two main low-cost airlines, Ryanair and EasyJet. EasyJet operate Airbus, and Ryanair operate Boeings. If someone's looking to go on a holiday to Spain, they're probably going to opt to go for EasyJet because EasyJet operate Airbuses. So this is kind of impact. The passenger's going to be looking. And, we already had these two accidents with the 737 MAX, but that was a while back. And a lot of people have forgotten about it. But now with this coming into the news, the 737 MAX is back on TV. It's back in the papers. It's back online as a dangerous airplane. This is what people are perceiving in their minds. So psychologically, people are going to think, I think I'm going to fly with Airbus, not with Boeing. And this is a problem for Boeing. So they really, really need to get their act together to clean this up. And it's going to take time and it's going to cost them money.